Hey Mason, hey Theo. Hello everybody, it's Nana. Today I thought I'd read this book called Dogger by Shirley Hughes. Dogger must be his little dog. Once there was a soft brown toy called Dogger. One of his ears pointed up and the other flopped over. His fur was worn in places because he was quite old. He belonged to Dave. No. Dave was very fond of Dogger. He took him everywhere. Sometimes he gave him rides in his trolley. Sometimes he pulled him along on the lead, made of string like a real dog. When it was cold, he wrapped him up in a bit of a blanket. Now and again, Dave's mum said Dogger was getting much too dirty. She showed Dave how to wash him in a bowl of soapy water. Then they hung him up by his tail on the washing line to dry. There he is learning. And there's Dogger on the washing line. Must be his sister. Good job, Mum. Good job, Dave. Dave's baby brother Joe liked hard toys. He liked putting them in his mouth and biting them because he was getting teeth. Dave's big sister Bella took 7 teddies to bed with her every night. She had to sleep right against the wall to stop herself from falling out. But Dave liked only Dogger. One afternoon, Dave and Mum set out to collect Bella from school. Mum took Joe in the pushchair and Dave took Dogger. Next to the school gate, where the one mums waited, was a playing field. Some men with ladders were putting up coloured flags. Mum said that there was going to be a summer fair to get money to buy things for the school. Dave pushed Dogger up against the railings to show him what was going on. Ah, yes. Look, Dogger, look. Look at all the workmen. Just then the children started to come out of school. An ice cream van came around the corner playing a tune. Oh, I love those. That's Mr. Whippy. Bella ran up with her satchel flying. It's her bag. Mum, can we have an ice cream? Mum gave her money for 2 cones. Joe didn't have a whole ice cream to himself because he was too dribbly. And that would be because he's teething. Can we have an ice cream, Mum? Isn't it the best when Mum says yes? I love that. I love saying yes. On the way home, Dave walked beside the pushchair giving Joe licks of his ice cream. Joe kicked his feet about and shouted, "More!" in between licks. At tea time, Dave was rather quiet. In the bath, he was even quieter. At bedtime, he said, I want Dogger. But Dogger was nowhere to be found. Oh no. Mum looked under the bed. She looked behind the cupboard and she searched in the kitchen. And underneath the stairs, Dave watched anxiously through the banister. Joe watched through the bars of his cot. That's a bad feeling when you lose something really special. Bella joined to look for Dogger. She turned out her own toy box in case it was in there, but it wasn't. When Dad came home, he looked for Dogger too. He searched in the shed and down the garden path with a torch, but Dogger was quite lost. There's Bella looking. Dave was very sad when he went to bed. Bella kindly lent him one of her teddies to go to sleep with, but it wasn't the same as Dogger. Dave kept waking up in the night missing him. The next day was Saturday, and they all went to school, the school summer fair. The playing field was full of stalls and sideshows. Wow, look at this drawing. There is so much going on here. There they are. There was a fancy dress parade. Wow. Hey, it's a bit like Book Week. It's Book Week's this week, actually. Everyone gets dressed up. Mason, you're going as a knight. Look, there's a Dalek off Doctor Who. I like the chicken. What are you going to dress up as? There's a pirate in the back and a fairy. Arr. I love dressing up. It's the best. Then there were sports with an egg and spoon race. It's where you've got to run along with an egg on a spoon. Oh! Boop, and not let it fall off. Then the wheelbarrow race. Oh, wow. Look at the wheelbarrow race. It's quite tricky. But he face planted. And then the Father's Day race, or the Father's race. Look at all the dads. Go, Dad. That looks like fun. Oh, look at this person trying to pick up his egg. You're not allowed to touch it with your hands. Bella was very good at races. She won the three-legged race with her friend Barbara. Wouldn't you like to go in for a race? They asked Dave. But Dave didn't feel like racing. He was missing Dogger. In the three-legged race, you tie the two legs together. So you've got to run at the same time. You can't have any fun, he's missing Dogger. Then another very exciting thing happened to Bella. She won first prize in the raffle. It was a huge yellow teddy bear wearing a beautiful blue silk bow. It was almost as big as Dave. Wow. Dave didn't like that bear at all. At that moment, he didn't like Bella much either because she kept winning things. He went off on his own to look at the stalls. One lady had a toy stall full of knitted ducks and cars and a baby dolls in bonnets. And there, at the very back of the stall, behind a lot of other toys, there's Dave. I don't know, what is it? What can you see? I wonder what it is. Dogger! Wow, there he is. 5p. And this is from England. 5 pence. That'd be like 10 cents for us. He was wearing a ticket saying 5p. There were a lot of people around the stall. Dave tried to explain to that lady that that was his Dogger, who had got lost somehow and been put on the stall by mistake. But she wasn't listening. He looked in his pocket. He had 3p. But it wasn't enough. He ran to find Mum and Dad to ask them to buy Dogger back at once. There he is trying to explain, that's my dog. I lost it last night. Dave looked everywhere in the crowd, but he couldn't see Mum or Dad. He thought he was going to cry. At last, he found Bella by the cakes. When she heard about Dogger, she and Dave ran back to the toy stall as fast as they could. I bet they did. But something terrible had happened. Dogger had just been bought by a little girl. She was already walking off with him. Dave began to cry. Bella ran after her and tried to explain that Dogger really belonged to Dave and could they please have him back. No. She said she'd bought Dogger with her own money and she wanted him. She held on to him very tightly. Yeah, she's got a bit of an angry look on her face, hasn't she? Well, that is true, though. Dave cried and cried. Looks like he's sobbing. and the little girl started to cry too. But out of the corner of her eye, she caught sight of Bella's big yellow teddy. She stopped crying and put her hand out to stroke his beautiful blue silk bow. Oh, look at poor Dave. Look at Dave. Oh, he was crying before, but now my heart hurts. What's going to happen? Dave cried and cried. Then Bella did something very kind. "Would you swap this bear for my brother's dog then?" she asked. Right away the little girl stopped crying and began to smile. She held out Dogger to Dave, took the big teddy bear instead, and went off with him in her arms. Oh. She is a good big sister. Then Dave smiled too. He hugged Dogger and he hugged Bella around the waist. "Thank you, Bella." It's making me cry a little bit. It's very sad and happy. That night, Dave had Dogger in bed beside him. Bella was practicing somersaults. "So you missed that big teddy?" Dave asked her. "No," said Bella. "I didn't like him much, really. He was too big and his eyes were too staring. Anyway, if I had another teddy in my bed, there wouldn't be any room for me." She is the best sister ever. What a kind thing to do. It's important to be kind. He's just got Dogger and she's got everyone. Wow, what a story. That was amazing. Your dad used to like this book, Dogger. Well, thanks for listening to my story. Love you lots. Miss you heaps. I hope one day you can do something kind for somebody. Make a difference. That really made a difference to Dave, didn't he? That was his most favourite toy in the whole world. And he lost it. She was amazing. That was a really kind thing to do. Always be kind. Don't lie. Yeah. All right. Love you lots. Miss you heaps. Kisses from Nana. Kisses for anyone else. Bye.